Mr. Emmett Hahn. Emmett, welcome to Grays Harbor Raceway. Good to have you here.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm just, I want to thank George, Bud, and all the people up here for bringing our National Series in here. We've been wanting to do it for a long time just to show the people on the West Coast exactly how competitive our National Series is, and I'm so proud of these guys, and I don't want my national guys to hear this, but it was good for a local guy to win our main event last night. And I think this is what made the World of Outlaws years ago, when the circus could come to town and the local guy had a chance of outrunning them, and that don't happen anymore except at Knoxville in Pennsylvania. And I think that's what we got with our series right here, to where the local people had a chance of winning the main event.
Emmett, how important is it for you taking the series nationally to get a presence here in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, and Oregon next week?
It's huge, and I'm going to tell you, the weather's not bad up here either. No, I think this will open some eyes of some other promoters up here, and I got to thank George and them guys for sticking their neck out to pay the purse that we run for. And it's kind of like the guy said, if you don't take a chance, you don't have a chance. But I think with our series up here for the next tonight and next weekend, it'll show some of these other people exactly what the series is all about.
When you started the American Sprint Car Series many years ago, did you ever envision this, regions all around North America, and now this great national series?
Not really, and I'm not saying this just because I'm here at Grays Harbor tonight, but our Northwest Series, and last year was their first year, and I can tell you this is the best run, most organized series of all of our 13 regions, and these guys, my hat's off to them.
How about that, folks? Fine words with Emmett. And Emmett, let's talk a little bit about the year 2009. Lucas Oil can filters coming on board to again take this to a new level. Television on Versus. How big can this get?
Well, and I think Lucas and K&N is in for the long haul. They let us bump our point fund up to $250,000, give us 12 TV shows, and I was just talking to them last week. I think in 2010 they're going to change their TV deal, and they're just going to have the 3 major series, which will be the sprint cars, the late models, and the off-road trucks, and so I think we're going to get an additional 4 TV shows next year.
Wow, well that is tremendous, isn't it, folks? And Emmett, anything you can tell us about a return visit at this point to the Northwest next year?
Well, if we can sell enough tickets at the Chili Bowl, maybe we'll have enough money to get up here next year. I hope so.
All right, Emmett, so glad you could join us here this weekend, and thanks so much for your hard work to just benefit sprint car racing in general. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you guys giving us an opportunity to come up here, and I want to thank the fans. I think you people are going to see an outstanding show tonight.
All right, Emmett, thanks again so much. If it's half as good as last night, it'll be a tremendous show.
Hey race fans, I'm here with Tim Crawley, Arkansas native and driver of the number 88 360 ASCS Sprinter, and Boat Sports we were just talking about, your primary sponsor, but you got some other folks involved.
Yeah, Boater Sports is definitely one of our big supporters at home, but we've got Southern Innovations, Center Farms. There's several people that back us, keep us out here on the road.
Yeah, it's not a cheap proposition, is it?
No, definitely not.
How many miles have they got you driving this year?
I'm not sure exactly. This West Coast swing, is about a month-long deal for us, and it's probably the worst as far as being out of town one stint. We got several out-of-town trips, but they're only, last a weekend or a week. So this deal here, the guys, Mike and one of the guys with us, they're going to be away from the house for about 5 weeks.
Wow, that's quite an extended tour. Now, I got to ask you, this you've been up to the Northwest before, haven't you?
I've come to Sacramento, to Chico once, but this is the farthest I've came this direction.
Well, what do you think about the drivers up here?
Oh, it's good competition. I knew of some of the guys anyway that lived up in this area, Bergman and Gary Taylor and Jason Sowall. I've raced with those guys, so I knew there was some competition up here. But I really like the weather.
Yeah, well, what's this compared to back home, though? Just less humid?
Oh, most definitely. I laugh. Some of these guys walk around here saying it's hot, and they don't have a clue.
No, they don't. So, I forgot to look. Where'd you finish last weekend?
We actually crossed the line 6th. Roger Crockett got disqualified. We ran 3rd Friday and got locked in. We run fifth the majority of the race, and I tried a slide job at the end. Actually cost me a spot, so we ended up sixth. So then after the Roger getting DQ'd, we got paid for fifth.
Yeah, well, take it when it comes, right?
Sure. I mean, we were decent Friday. We were decent Saturday. We just never were what I call good, you know. We had a little bit of fuel problems trying to get, you know, the air right, but you know, any of these deals, several of these guys, even of our bunch, have hit some of these tracks, and I have not. So, and it makes it tough. You got to be right on every time, as much competition as we've got with this series this year.
That's pretty much true everywhere you go across the country, isn't it?
Yes, tonight's probably, well, there's no probably to it. They said there was 37 cars, so that's our lowest car count for this national deal this year. They were talking about that yesterday. I think the average car count's been over 50 at every show. And it's not just that there's 50 cars, there's 20 guys that usually can win an A main at every one of these shows, and that makes it really tough.
Yeah, the competition's really stepped up. Emmett Hahn had a couple of real interesting things to say trackside before the races last week, and things are really on the up and up for the ASCS.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, the 410 world's been struggling for several years, and I think everybody knows it. They're just not wanting to say a whole lot about it, really. The 360 deal is all over the United States at a local level, so it only makes sense for a national touring series to get bigger, because then when you do come to a track like this, you've got some cars to fill in. You know, even if you've got 15 cars traveling the national deal, you can roll in here and have 20, 25 locals help support it. Where the 410 deal is not that way anymore, because there's not much 410 weekly racing, so it only makes sense for this 360 deal to continue to grow.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be the way that the sport is headed. In my opinion, and from what I've observed other people commenting, you know, on a lot of these tracks, the 410s aren't even that much faster, and what people want to see is good racing.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, it's not that the cars are a little quicker, but from the grandstands, your average fan or spectator is not even going to notice the difference, really. And it's exactly what you're saying. So many 410 shows anymore, they just get lined up in a line, and it's just a freight train deal, you know. These smaller racetracks and a full field of 360s puts on as good a show as you're going to see. So, and I think ultimately that's what the fans need for this to grow.
I agree, and I think the fans are getting behind you guys. This is certainly going to be a good show in a little bull ring like this.
I hope we do our part to make it a good show.
Thanks for your time, Tim.
Thank you.